Well, I've
Yep.
welcome back to the museum. We're having technical problems with our camera. For some reason, YouTube is trying to make you watch it in a sideways portrait mode. We've had a little look at it. If you can fix it, let us know. We're struggling. You might have to turn your screens around or lie down if you're watching on YouTube. You'll watch it absolutely fine in that mode. If you're listening on the Radio Shields, that's the place. If you want to hear what we're doing tonight. So we are still in this aircraft hangar, Edgar Grenville Shaw. This was the aircraft hangar where a lot of his things are kept. We're just going to go back over here. We've had a little look around. We are now going to go and see what else this museum has to offer. I think Keith and David are still with us tonight. Doing a paranormal investigation. We are raising money for what's going on in Ukraine. If you want to donate to the cause, if maybe you enjoy the ghost hunt and you want to give something back, you can go onto radioshields.co.uk. There is a donate button on there. Please go on there, press the donate button and give whatever you want. If you can't donate, if you're not in a position to give any money, don't worry, there are drop-off points if you want to donate aid. Instead, we're looking for clothes, blankets, medical aid, even paracetamol, things like that. Anything you think could be sent away to help the situation in Ukraine, where there's getting close to 2 million people have been displaced because of the ongoing conflict that's taken place over there. As well, even if you don't believe in ghosts and you think what we're doing is a big load of rubbish, you might want to enjoy the museum, look at some of the planes, and you can still obviously donate to the charity. This is the first one we're doing. We're doing another one next Friday night. Hopefully by then we'll have sorted out, we'll have fixed the whole situation. We won't let Kyle touch the camera again, and hopefully we'll be able to watch it in a nice portrait mode on your TV screen. So we're going to go through here. You just follow me through. We are live on Radio Shields for the next couple of hours. We're going to be putting people into some dark places as well later on. Places that are going to be out of their comfort zone. They don't know what's coming yet. I'm going to speak to Keith over here, we've got David over here. They are currently, as you can see on the YouTube channel, they are looking at bits of engine. This is what they do. A lot of the volunteers that come here and work at this aircraft museum, they're really into playing with their planes, fixing planes, painting planes, all sorts. And I'm just going to come over here because they are getting some activity. I can see straight away there's a K2 meter in David's hand. And for those who do not know what a K2 meter is, a K2 meter it's like an EMF meter. It picks up an electromagnetic field. And for those who believe that ghosts are essentially energy, in theory, one of these should be able to pick it up now. David has got this device close to, I'm going to jump in with the microphone. David, what is this engine from? Or Keith? Look straight at Keith.
Right. It's a German bomber. It was torn up out of the sea. You can see the fishing net still stuck on the end of it.
Oh, yes. So,
and there was 5 crew members on it. Should only be 4, but somebody hitched a ride on it. And they're all killed. There's one of them buried in their local cemetery. The others they never found. Still in the sea. But I once took a picture of this years ago, and I got 5 faces behind it. German with the German headgear on. And it was German because theirs sticks out. And I got all the faces behind it, and it's very active.
Because what I'm seeing, in theory, defies the laws of physics, because this is an engine that's not switched on, there's no electrics running through that. People might say, well, there's a cable somewhere, and that device that's in David's hand is flashing straight away.
It's gone now. It's gone. Completely gone. It's just a dead piece of metal now.
It's flashed there.
So the residual, but it was up the red at one point.
We saw it.
Yeah.
So that's the
only bit of the aircraft that exists. That.
right.
Yeah, so there's something about something connected with that.
Again, there's no electrical interference. I'm going to come down and see for myself because I have nothing. This is just, well, the same metal conducts energy, doesn't it? There, flashes there. So you, obviously the skeptic will say there's a rational explanation for this. The believer will say, well, there's some sort of energy linked to this.
It is an engine, and there will be some magnetic components in the engine, but we're trying to keep.
Try it on the propeller, dear.
It's flashing. It's very slow. Yeah, you just said that's wood. That does not conduct electricity.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. It's flashing. It's flashing.
Yeah. So it was
I saw it before. That thing was almost off the scale. I was on the red.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing that it's in theory, if there is some sort of electrical cable there, it would still be flashing red when you move the device over it.
It's interesting that it's the wooden parts of the propeller that's holding energy.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can explain it.
Shall we move on? We'll try. I'm trying to get him to hang over the road because I know that's got an interesting story about a spy linked to it. Now, when people talk about stories about a spy stealing planes, it sounds like a bit of fiction. This is completely true story. I'm going to go back through the museum, back through the little shop section that's set up here. We need to go out of this hangar into the hangar directly opposite us. Walking through all the artifacts. David, where's have we got David still? David told me a story about there's a telephone in here that rings. We're just going to see that. There's a telephone, and this is not part of who's worth or anything like that. This is just simply a little.
Inside there, there's a big light telephone.
And that just rings all by itself, or it has in the past.
Well, I've heard it 2 or 3 times over the years.
Right.
It's not even plugged in.
It's not even plugged in.
No.
So that's impossible. That you can't, unless that thing is connected to some sort of phone line that can't ring. So you've heard it. You've been in this area while it's run.
Yeah, and I've actually got a recording where very faintly in the background you can hear it ringing.
It's an old-fashioned ring, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a ring, and that's it.
And there's a few times I've had a chain in there, and I've come in and said, "Oh, phone's ringing." I've never actually heard it myself. The only way I've heard it was the one that you recorded. But I've never heard it where everybody else that's been in there said, "Oh, the phone's ringing."
But it could be one of these things where it'll fall on a certain date in the month, or it'll happen on an anniversary.
Well, we're talking about anniversaries, and today's the 12th of March, which is
Yeah, it's an important anniversary for the museum as such.
absolutely.
But I know some phenomenon has been found out that it'll happen like sort of once a month on a certain date, or once a year on a specific date. You know, it's like a recording specific to that date. So it's something that does get heard, but you have to wait a year to hear it again.
Yeah, anniversary. It's like a replay that's recorded in time that replays itself.
Yeah. And the ghost nights are mainly Saturday nights. So if this falls on, say, the 13th of every month, that it'll ring. There's only going to be 2 or 3 times in the year that you'll get that happening on a Saturday night when there's people in. So it's even a rarer phenomenon.
Yeah. I want to show you part of the museum actually that I had something in during the daytime. As you know, we filmed in this place in 2019. Now, usually what we do, we come and do the ghost hunt, we do, night vision cameras and stuff. And then I came back a few days later just to get some nice little shots of it in the daytime with a daytime camera. And I brought my friend. She is big on the history, big on the World War II side, so she was going to be really interested. And she was walking through this area, and she's not the type of person who sees things all the time and comes up with snow. She's really quite rational. And she stood where I am. She said that she saw someone move inside, from not inside the toilet, but from here, looking inside the ladies' toilets. Now, you've already said stuff happens in there. She's seen something in there, but this, you've got no idea who that could be.
That could be various. There is a lot of things seen throughout the day.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen at night.
She just described it as movement. She didn't have, you know, a visual of what this thing looked like. So I'm looking through the toilets now for those on the radio. We see you've got men's toilet straight ahead, ladies just to the right. So it's this sort of doorway just to the right. She saw something move, and she's not the type of person that would make it up. She's not the type of person who sees stuff. She's very rational. You show her things in photographs and she's like, oh yeah, but that must be that. But yet she swears she saw it in there. So, moving on, we're going back outside. Another thing that you get in these museums and a lot of haunted places is battery drainage. Things like mobile phones drain, batteries drain, lights drain. So we're obviously going to keep an eye on that tonight. Afton is operating the camera so she can see what the battery's like on the light. We're still good for now.
60.
60, we're good for now. We might have to plug that in and charge it up a little bit later on. So there's a story about a Czech spy. Now this sounds like something you couldn't make it up if you tried. It's a man, to summarise what happened, pinched a plane, flew back to mainland Germany, but was based at this RAF airfield. His name was Augustine. But this is completely true. This wasn't even live. This is one of the most unbelievable stories I've ever heard from anywhere. So background, if I'm right in thinking, he was based here. He was originally captured. He was imprisoned in Czechoslovakia, and he was brainwashed or converted to work for the Nazis. And that's when he joined up with the RAF. He infiltrated that way. So he was already turned in his head that he was working for the other side, and spent, I don't know how long he spent over here, but nobody knew what was going through his mind. He certainly wasn't giving off any indications that he was on the other team. And at some point they were doing a mission or a practice training session over the North Sea, if I'm right in thinking. They took the plane out, and
what happened was at Dunkirk, we were sending planes over there, and this pilot got shot down. So they gave him his identity, and they actually dropped him off in the channel. So he said he'd been shot down, this, that, the other. They got him back, and he said he'd lost his nerve. He'd never flown a British fighter in his life, but the Germans had taught him to fly. So they sent him to different airfields up and down the country, thinking, oh, to get his nerve back, and he ended up here.
in Isworth.
Yeah. So he actually took a Hurricane and he crash landed at the Pension Monument. And they thought it was just a training accident, but he was practicing crash landing.
Clever. It's clever.
So then the week after, he stole the CEO's personal Hurricane from here and flew it over there.
And I'm right in thinking he went to Belgium, and a couple took him in, didn't they?
Well, he crash landed it, and the farmer that helped him camouflage it, because obviously he was in RAF uniform, thought he was RAF proper. So he helped him camouflage it with tree branches and this, that, the other. And he went straight to the Gestapo and turned him in. So he got the farmer shot, his wife shot, and his son shot. And then he ginned the Germans up on what was happening up and down the country, the airfields that he was at. And at the end, the Germans put him in a prisoner of war camp. And then he was ginning them up on who was escaping. So he was getting them shot. And then obviously at the end of the war, he tried to get away. He tried to steal another aircraft to fly to Switzerland, but they caught him. and he was executed over there, but he can't stay there because he's hated, so he comes here. He hides in the corner of the hangar.
Because not only has he turned his back on the RAF, British, but Czechoslovakia at the time, they were invaded, they became occupied. So there was a lot of anti-Nazi people over there, so he couldn't stay there.
And there was an actual photograph of the aircraft that he stole in a museum over there, the Hurricane. There was a photograph of it, and we bombed it. So obviously it doesn't exist now. But it was bombed and destroyed. But when he was here, he actually married a Sunderland woman.
That was part of his blending in.
Part of his, and she couldn't understand it when it came out that he was a Czech spy and all the rest of it. She couldn't understand it because everything seemed to be quite normal. But before he actually, when he first joined the Germans and the Gestapo and everything over that side, he murdered his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And there was him, his father, and this other chap weighted her down and chucked her in the river. It's all documented. I've got a photograph of his girlfriend and everything.
Yeah.
Because there was a girl, she was doing a book on him, and she was Czech, and she came here, and she gave us a write-up on everything that he did. She researched it on that side of it. And the chap that helped them get rid of her on his deathbed got it off his chest, because otherwise she was just reported missing.
And he is supposed to haunt the hangar that we're about to go into.
Yes.
Let's go in there, because I've been here before. This thing hates people coming in and penetrating. It hates the lights being on. He's generally a bad-tempered so-and-so to talk about it. So we are looking now to describe this for the people who are listening on radio. We want to listen. We'll have the lights on when we go in. We'll obviously have them off when we get really going. So this is, if you come into the museum through the shop, this is kind of the first hangar you come to on your left-hand side. This has changed around a lot since we were last in here doing any kind of ghost hunting. The cranes have changed around. I mentioned at the start, by the way, asking people to name a type of car that's been built in Washington, not a Nissan. We're going to reveal that for you in just a few seconds, because that is in here. If Kyle just pans the camera around, we'll see it. What actually is a Crusader? It's a very rare thing. I think David knows this is.
It's a kit car thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they did originally start manufacturing them as cars, but they felt that the production costs were too much. So then, the end of the run, started selling them as kit cars.
Right.
A build-a-to-home type thing.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. The old style headlights popping up out the bonnet.
Yeah.
I've had a little look inside. It's even got a, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It's even got, on the dashboard itself, there's like a little, looks like a big alarm light. Obviously, today's cars, you've got your in-car Apple iCars and your Android Autos. This thing's got a big, looks like a big firelight on the dash. So it's, obviously I'm assuming this has been somebody's garage queen for a long time, because that's not had many miles on the clock.
That is the club for these cars.
Really? So there's a few of them.
The first weekend we had it, we announced that it was at the museum, and if anybody with a similar car would like to come in and have a bit of a rally, and there was 3 of them turned up on there.
Yeah. Amazing. I'd never even heard of it. We're built within the stories throw of this.
So we know for a fact there's at least 4 of them on the road.
Yeah.
Because 3 turned up and ours is roadworthy.
Talking about stone throwing in this place, this is apparently one of the main things that happen in this very hangar, because this is the one where Augustine is generally found.
Well, what happened when I mentioned about that girl that was writing the book, she actually came here on a ghost night. She walked in this place and she called him in Czech a traitor to his country. And straight away there was painting lids and all sorts of stuff to him. And I had to ask them to leave because if somebody got the iPod out.
I've had it literally before when we were getting stuff out of the car. I walked through the doorway of the shop, and as I opened the door, a stone came, hit me in the chest. I thought it was one of these messing about. They were behind me, so they couldn't have thrown it to hit me at the front. But they heard it land on the floor, and it was as the door to the shop opened. So I don't know whether it's because I've been in here before and I've called them all kinds of names which I can't repeat on the radio, all kinds of names under the sun. I've agitated this thing.
Somebody thinks you're the threat.
So I don't know whether maybe this is the place where we need to get into tonight, because, you know, I know they say you've got to respect the dead, but how much respect do you give this thing? It's, you know, it's one of those where you don't want to cause too much, because obviously you guys have got to come in here every day, and I don't want to stir any negativity.
See, the thing is, over the years, he was quite active when we first started with the ghost hunting. Very active. He didn't like anybody in, he would throw stuff and he wanted people out. But he's learned over the years to keep his head down, keep out the way, and then nobody bothers him.
Yeah.
This is the thing, and it's like, because things has been moved about in here from what it was, and we've got different things in it, it's got it all scuttled.
Yeah.
So now he's like, he's at 6s and 7s as to where he can go, where he can hide. So he wants people out.
And of course you can move so many things around in this place. His favourite hiding spots are probably now out in the open.
Yeah.
I remember coming in here back in 2 or 3 years ago. I would be over here and I would hear a bang over where that truck is at the far side. So you walk around there and you're like, okay, where are you, where are you? And then suddenly over this side, the opposite side, there's another cloud. He's leading you on a bit of a goose chase.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've come back in here, this place is totally silent, so people who say, well, it's, you know, building creaking, it wasn't, because we could hear the planes tapping. This was inside the actual hangar itself. And Keith, you've got a brilliant photograph, I believe, is it that direction towards that corner over there?
Yeah.
You've got him on camera. He's been on camera.
Yes, I've got him. He's got dark glasses on. Because the security light was on all the time. He didn't like the white light. But he's actually hiding in the corner. You can see his flying helmet, his jacket and everything.
Brilliant. We need to get in this place tonight, see if we can get some activity from Augustine. But we're going to move into the hangar just to the left of us. There's also people outside, not just the hangars that are haunted on this site. You've got a security guard and his dog. They've been seen on the, especially at night, the dark shadows, almost as if they're doing a kind of patrol of this place. Maybe they were, maybe in their time, maybe they still think it's the war. Maybe they haven't realised things have changed, or maybe they have realised things have changed and they're not. They want to see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, there was one night I was stood over at the doorway and there was a chap in RAF uniform walked down here towards us, turned and walked straight through the side of the hangar, which would have been where the door was for the billets during the war.
Yeah. I was going to ask Kyle to be careful, because I think there is a step. Just keep the light down, because I think there's a step coming up. I nearly tripped over it before. So in this hangar is another epicenter of the hauntings of this aircraft museum. It's the helicopter, which was a search sea rescue helicopter.
Nice.
This helicopter has had, can't even put a number on it, the number of people who have probably been in the back of this thing. So we're going through. So we're looking at the Westlands, Rollins, HAS7. It's got a few names to it. But Keith, you know it. This is based from the south coast of England. Afton's just checking it out because she's going to be doing it later on.
Good luck.
So this was actively used for a number of years, rescuing people from.
Yeah, it ended its time down there as a rescue, and then it was decommissioned. But yes, when you think of the amount of people that it's actually rescued, or the amount of people that it actually picked up out of the sea that actually died in there.
Yeah, I read that this actual helicopter there was a boat race in the channel, one of those power boat race or something like that. An incident happened where multiple people needed rescuing and there was fatalities, and this helicopter was right in the forefront.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're going to have a look at the guys are just getting in there, having a look. This is the stretcher bed that was used to have been lowered into the sea. People would have been put on here. There's a winch on the side of the helicopter there. That's how you would be raised up, and then obviously somebody inside here would get it inside, get the person to safety, and they would be worked on, whether it's via whatever means of first aid. Now, Keith, what kind of things happen in terms of paranormal activity? Because this has seen probably its fair share. So that's just people climbing inside.
Yeah.
Plenty of time for that later on, but
Yes.
what's
We've had people tapping on it.
yeah.
People just standing talking and somebody will knock on the inside of it. Just to say, I'm here. You know, we've had voices, we've had people,
Yeah.
we've had people in there actually talking.
Yeah. And it's not uncommon for people sitting inside to feel motion sickness. As a airframe music.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite common, that one.
It's an interesting book by the historian Richard Felix. He talks about that last second of life before you die, and it's like an explosion of energy. And I think recently they've captured on an X-ray machine somebody, they were just doing it because he had epilepsy, but he had a fatal, it turned fatal. They actually managed to X-ray somebody as they died, and they found the flash, as if your life flashes before your eyes. And they talk about that last flash before someone dies, and you think what's around it, the stone, the metal, captures that energy. And Keith just showed me a photograph now. That this is, where was that taken? That was inside.
Yeah.
That's inside, and we can just see a mist on the screen of your digital camera there.
Sorry. Jacket.
Oh, you can see a face. I'm just looking at it now. Yeah. Then you zoom out, and I can see where you aimed that at.
Flying helmet.
Yep. So you think that's somebody who flew this
Yeah.
aircraft?
He sat in the pilot's seat.
Yeah. Kyle's just getting that on screen there now. There we go. Let's move on. Let's get through, because we've got a couple more hangers. We're going to come to those later on in the line. But I think time
Good one, Matt, wasn't it? Did you see it?
What's the latest time? We'll get ghost hunting very, very soon.
9:05.
We're just after 9 o'clock. So I say we regroup. We're going to head over to the shop. We're going to get some gadgetry toys out. And we're going to try and see if we can start. Looking forward to the late school. Start what we're investigating this tonight. Let's head over to the shop area. First thing I want to mention as well, these hangers do make a noise usually when it's windy. It is a slight breeze here tonight. It's not enough to really rattle the place. So if you are hearing noises, it could be just old corrugated metal contracting. We don't know. It's certainly dry. There's no rain coming down heavy on the hangers, so we are in quite fair conditions for collecting paranormal evidence. There are some hangars that we haven't been in yet, but we will be going into those very, very soon. But the main reason we are here ghost hunting tonight is to try and raise money for people of Ukraine who have been displaced over the past 2 or 3 weeks now. This conflict has been really raging in Europe, and of course a lot of people have fled and have got nothing more than whatever they could grab when they moved. It's the kind of scenes that you saw years ago in black and white in the Second World War. Shocking scenes, but all we can do, we can't stop the war, but all we can do is to try and help them in some way. aid, whether it's medical, whether it's food. Not a lot we can do, but the British Ukrainian, there's a charity on the Just Giving page here on radioshields.co.uk. Go on there, you can donate. It's going straight to the charity. The work that they are doing is really good at the minute. There's a lot of people fundraising for this charity. The money is going directly out there to the people that really need it at the minute. And that's why we're ghost hunting tonight. Even if you're not into ghosts, even if you just want to come and have a laugh at what we're doing, you're more than welcome to do it. We just want to do something that's going to try and get some people to go on there and donate. So it's radioshields.co.uk. Of course, if you're listening on Radio Shields and you want to go straight onto the website, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, then that is the website that you need to go onto. As well as giving financial money. If you can't give money because of your circumstances, whatever, you'd rather donate things, items, clothes, even these things, paracetamol, they cost pennies. I got these probably 20-30 pence in a shop. Good for a headache, but they don't cost pennies in Ukraine. They're hard to get at the minute. They're collecting for all sorts. These medical supplies are being shipped out there, and they're going to a really, really good cause. Now, obviously, this conflict is still in its early stages. We're still not sure how long this will go on for. This whole situation could get a lot worse. We hope it doesn't. We hope it ends very soon. So what we're doing now is to try and help those that are already affected, and obviously people who are going to be affected by this in the very, very near future. We don't know how long this is going to go on for, but we are doing more of these ghost hunts. This is the first one. We're still trialing how this whole simulcast is going to work. YouTube, Radio Shields. Thanks to the guys at Radio Shields for being involved, and of course thank you for everyone that's watching. So we're going to frighten some people now. No tricks up our sleeves, we're not messing about. We are just going to put these people into a place and see what we can catch. Now we have got some device. Kyle, if you just put the light so it's hard to see where there we go. We're going to go indoors. We're going to go into the shop. And as well, I want to say a big thank you to NELSAM, the North East Land, Sea and Aircraft Museum. They've been really supportive in the charity that we are running for tonight. They were the guys who literally rang us up 2 nights ago and said, come down on Saturday, you can do this. That's why we've had barely any time to really prepare this. And as well, if you want to come down here and do a ghost hunt yourself, you can do. There's another event taking place in April. Tickets, I believe, are still on sale for that. Kindred Spirit Investigations are doing a charity night here at the museum. So if you're seeing this place and you're hearing these stories and you're thinking, I want to go down there and see it, then go on to the Kindred Spirit Investigations, buy a ticket. All of the proceeds from those tickets are going to Ukraine. Brilliant cause. And there's also a chance for you to go ghost hunting as well. If you're seeing what we're doing and you're liking it, then come and have a go of it yourself. So we're going to get some equipment. I'm just going to turn this microphone off a second that I've had in my hand. We're going to save some batteries. How are we doing for batteries, Kyle? Do we have any battery drainage?
We've got about 90 minutes left on this light.
Okay, so improvise. We do have our own bits of gadgetry around. We do have a spare light. You've still got our battery pack.
Yes.
So if you want to charge the light up, we put the light on charge. So if you pop that into the battery pack there. And then
Perfect.
there we go, Kyle. Doing his getting his money's worth tonight, and then put that into the light.
Which
So
is
it's on there somewhere. While Kyle has a little look for that, we need to put somebody in some dark places tonight. I think Afton wants to go inside. We brought Afton along, by the way. She's going to be doing some TikToking tonight. She wants to go on there and impress her followers. So, Kyle getting all muddled up with cables.
Need a longer lead, but there we go.
Right, it's under his Adam. Right. So Afton, how do you feel about going in that? In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll give you a mic so we get you on. So you've never done ghost hunting before? Or what are you doing?
We need a longer lead, Rob. We need a longer lead.
We need a longer lead. I'm going to get Afton on. Now, Afton, you are... Well, Phil's your dad, first of all. He's involved in Radio Shields, and he's also a little bit nervous about doing this. You've never done a ghost hunt before?
No.
How do you feel about it?
Nervous.
That's good. That's good. So what we are going to do, and I think Kyle he's broken something here. In fact, I think the biggest entertainment would be to watch what's going on here, because Kyle's trying to clip. We've got Philip now connecting things in. There he goes.
That's it.
There he goes. Kyle is.
Nice longer lead.
We call him Half Job at the radio station.
He lives up to the name.
He lives up to them. Right, Afton, I think we've. I think it's your turn. How, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel, nerves-wise?
For the helicopter, I've done 9.
Okay. We just want to check you don't have a secret torch on you that you're going to have lights on. Yeah, that goes in your pocket. You're going to be doing some TikToking?
Yeah.
Okay, you can give your TikToks a plug.
No, just do yours.
Okay, we'll do mine then. Should we go over there and oh, Kyle's walked into a mop.
A mop bucket, almost there.
So let's get out and put the light on. There we go. Let's get Afton set up. It's not going to be long. It's going to be 10 minutes. We'll
That's
put
a
you in
long
there
time.
for. A long time. Come on. Let's put you in there. This is that new helicopter? I think that's the blue bird. Wrong one. I'm not. It seems dark in there. We're going to have the light off. We're not going to be going far. What I want you to do is to just listen, have all your senses open. If you hear anything, if you feel anything, even if it's just you think it's gone a little bit cold, you think that there's a bit of a draft. I don't like the fact that I see Kyle walking backwards. I think something bad's going to happen when I see that. Just be very careful when I'm sure. He's going to have an accident, isn't he? There it is. You ready to get in? Let's go. Phil might give me a hand lifting this. Lifting this cage, it's like a stretcher bed that they would have put into the sea. With long ways in. There you go.
So that's enough for a lion. So I think head goes at the end where the cockpit is, and your feet go either side of that little ridge. So the door.
Well, the door's open, so you don't. So I'll take that microphone off you. So if you climb up there, you've got to go a little box to stand up, and you step up the ladder, and then there we go. And then so you want to probably sit. Yeah. There we go. Phil's just giving her a bit of a hand. What a lovely dad.
Stress for this one.
You're very welcome. Anytime. Yeah, get a cushion. And then just keep my phone. I don't know if you get this, by the way. It's got Sam Fender wallpaper on the phone. She's a big Sam Fender fan. So, unfortunately, we can't close the door because it hasn't been hooked back on.
Fortunately.
Look at her, she's got a coat over the head. Just think how many people have
I
this.
don't want to think about anything else.
No, I want you to think about that.
people have, this has carried people up and rescued people. Obviously, it hasn't rescued everybody, but there's a lot of people have had, imagine people coming up in here and being drowned, victims drowned from the winch that's on the side of the vehicle. So just lie back, and you've got the easiest job in the house. You can just lie down and have a chill. So we're going to... Ready? So we'll just head out.
What?
Give us a shout if you get anything. I think there's a... Oh, she's shouting for her dad. We haven't even made it 5 metres and she's shouting for her dad. I want to know if she wanted to do this. Yeah, you ready? We'll close the door, nobody can come in. She's got the giggles. You ready? Get out. I feel. You hear her shouting, she's fine. Head away so she can't hear our voices, but we're not going to go too far. So I don't feel bad. She wanted to come. Where's Phil gone? Phil doesn't want to come on mic, but he set her up for this, and she is in the helicopter. Like I say, first ghost hunt she's ever done, and we've kind of put her in at the deep end. It's usually me doing all that. In fact, you go on the YouTube channel, it is me. So we're not going to go too far. In fact, Phil, obviously you can be, you don't let her know you're just outside, but give her enough time, and then when you think it's ready, we'll go in and put the light on and get her out. But obviously, let her sweat it out. How long has she been in there? About 10 seconds?
No, 20 past.
20 past. So, get her out. We'll find out what she's experienced in there. Especially if she felt it move, that would be really good.
The cards were very interesting. What they've done is they've set up some cards, playing cards.
Yeah.
And with a hammer, he took a photo of them, or he set them up. We've just been back and checked on them, and they've changed the positions.
That's brilliant. We need to get back.
It's got the two photographs of the playing cards change the position.
The playing cards have been set out before we started tonight.
And he's also set a couple of dice away in the far corner where I believe the Americans connected to this tank type thing, and they like to play with the dice. As you'll see there.
Right, so.
Now,
Right.
from the original photograph he's got, which he'll show you, them cards they were in a pile up there, and there's no wind, there's nothing in here you can see.
Yeah.
So they've moved, and these ones have moved about, these moved slightly. They have stayed the same, but I'm not quite sure if that has now moved.
That's interesting.
If we go to the back, we'll get the dice, just so we can have a look, and then maybe come back and see if they've moved any later on.
So this is the military vehicles area.
This is one that is connected to the Americans.
Yeah, because these are
the sticks with a group of 3 or 4 you see.
these are American. Yeah.
There's the dice,
Get the dice.
the way they are at the moment.
So we've got 2, 2, 1, 4, and a 6. Okay, because we know the Americans. They say that the Americans like to play games. So what we'll do. You think that was?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100%, but he's obviously got a photograph. But I feel like one of those was a 3. I might be wrong, but it's worth looking at the photograph.
Okay. So we think this has had some activity. We will make sure nobody comes in here. We'll make sure this is a closed off. And this is the furthest hangar on the left hand side as you come in. It's full of all sorts of things. There's a section with rocket launcher and missile defence thing. You've got helicopters, you've got old wartime vehicles in the old camouflage colours. These ones up there are more like keeping little symbols. Oh, yes. Trolley amphibious. So this is one of those things that can go on land and then you can just take it into the sea. So you can photograph on it of somebody using it. So, and then of course tanks behind as well. These are pretty much American. That's a British one. It's got the British flag on it. Bikes as well. And of course you've got this helicopter in the middle. I wouldn't feel comfortable flying in one of those. It looks tiny. Right. I want to get into some ghost hunting now. I think, should we get Afton out of there?
Yeah, we'll head back down.
He's like that. I think 10 might be a bit cool.
Not like you, Rob, who's going soft.
Well, I'll let you get it out. You know where the light is. I'm going to go down to the shop. We're going to grab some equipment. We're going to get maybe a spirit box out and we're going to try and see if we can get a vigil going. I'm just going to turn this microphone off. It's saving batteries all the time because, as you know, battery drainage is always a big problem when you want an event like this. And then we're going to go into Shaw's because, as you know, tonight is the anniversary, the 80th anniversary. 8:30 is when the plane crashed, so we've just gone past that time. For those that don't know how some of our equipment works, we are going to go over all that. So the spirit box, EMF meters, all of that. Don't forget as well, radioshields.co.uk, hit the donate button if you are in a charitable mood this evening. Through there. Let's get our box of gadgets. We'll take the spirit box, got the thermal imaging camera and K2 meter, EMF meter. Oh, we're just getting some gadgetry out. Going to try and do a spirit box session for Shaw, see what comes through. I don't know if you guys have had anything, but obviously we've got our K2 meter as well. You guys were getting some activity on that, so we'll see if we can match that, especially tonight because we've just passed 8:30, haven't we? So that was the. We've got Afton out. So we'll chat to her, see what you got. So I'm going to come to you straight away, Afton, because I can only apologise for making me go through that ordeal. Hey back. What was it like? What's that called?
As soon as you left.
It got colder when we turned the light off when we left the building. But in theory, that should be impossible because we closed the door. That door was wide open. We closed the door, so in theory it shouldn't get colder.
I felt like there was someone underneath.
Underneath the,
Yeah, underneath the helicopter.
not inside, underneath the actual.
Underneath it.
What
Like
made you think
tapping.
that? Taps.
Yeah.
You heard the taps.
Underneath.
And I mean, did you tap back?
No.
How often were the taps? Were they regular? Was it once or twice?
Once or twice.
But
But you knew you were there. You knew you were there.
yeah. You've been brave. We've been taking the mick out of Afton all afternoon. We went for food before the show, and I'm proud that she's done it. It's our first time. I think you wanted to do it because you thought it was going to be a bit easy, but it obviously
Certainly
isn't.
wasn't.
But well done. Give yourself a pat on the back, and then we'll come back to you for the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are a good thing to do already. So. Feel sorry for her and put her into one of the most haunted museum buildings there is in the northeast, and she did a good job. So, walking through into Edgar Grenville Shaw's hangar, the wreckage from that was just here. Now, you've got to be really careful when using one of these, a K2 meter, because as you can see, wireless microphones can mess about with these. Even if I put it close to camera, look at that, because we're live streaming tonight, if I put that next to the camera, it's picking up the energy from that. So you've got to be really careful with these. I'm going to place this on there and stand back from it. Stand back as far as we can, so we're not going to interact with it. I'll look on this side so you can see it a little bit better. So we are about 5 meters away from it, 3 or 4 meters away from it. We aren't interacting with it. Obviously, if I go a little bit closer, you see that my microphone is going to mess about with it. So I'm going to stand well out of the way. So I've placed it onto the engine from that German plane that was recovered from the sea. We did get. Is there any way we can get the lights up in here? That would be so much better.
It's our light.
Keep that light on, and we're just going to get the lights up.
Lights.
We'll get those switched off in a second. So we're going to also get the spirit box going. Now, the spirit box is simply a black device like this. I'm going to just turn the little area up. Now this scans frequencies and white noise. It scans the white noise between various radio frequencies, and many people believe that you can get voices coming through on this. I will keep this at a low volume because obviously we want you to be able to hear what we're going on with tonight. So I'm just going to power this up and then power the speaker up as well. This might be loud. I'm just going to turn it down so you can hear it when I put it close to the mic. You can hear white noise, okay? We're going to ask several questions and then see what we can get from that. So I'm just going to ask it to sweep. For some reason it's decided it's not going to stop playing with us tonight. There we go, switch it back on. In fact, we'll come back to that later on, we'll have a look at it. I'm not sure why it's been a little bit funny, we're sweeping it, but we're not getting any audio coming through. All sorts of technical. In fact, this shouldn't have happened. I'll switch it back on again. Not sure why it's doing that. We've got the spirit box is on. Turn the. There we go. So we're going to ask if there's any spirits in here tonight that want to come and talk to us. White noise. And we've gone off. It's gone off again. So we try unplugging it and putting the other end in. See if this works. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Never does that before. So we'll come back to that. We'll see what it's doing. But if anyone wants to come and touch the EMF meter that we've got down there on that German engine that was going off before, I'd go and stand next to it, but as I've just said before, if I go over there, the violent connection that we've got going on is going to set it off. Come and touch it. Come and put your energy through it. We saw it going off just a few minutes ago when David had his. I've just seen him. Just seen that. Oh, that's it. The mannequin staring straight at me. I'm assuming there's one light on at the minute. Yeah, one green light. So I'll not get too close to it. I don't want to interfere with it. Is anybody down here linked to the aircraft museum that wants to come and put your energy into it? You saw it going off before. Oh. You heard that?
Yeah.
Can we go round? Can we go round?
Yeah.
Let's go round. That was this side of the... I don't know, was it this side or was it further up? Couldn't remember which. Is there somebody in here? We'll introduce ourselves. My name is Rob. I've got Kyle, Phil, and Afton with me from Radio Shield. We've just come to chat. We heard a noise. Is that somebody trying to get our attention? Is Edgar in here tonight? Edgar? Edgar Grenville Shaw? It's 80 years ago, just past the anniversary tonight. You've been dead for 80 years. Will people still see you in here? Your items are still here. This is your plane. This was your plane that crashed 80 years ago tonight. Now, the museum haven't got it on display, and there's a reason why. We're not going to say what's in the box, but there is a box on the other side of this display where there is something in that box that they, for obvious reasons, can't put here because it's very, it's very graphic. The nearest we can give a clue as to what it is well as seat belts and bits of fabric there. There's something else that's recovered from the crash site that's inside a box, and it's obviously very morbid, and we're hearing clicks all the time from here. 12th of March 1942, Edgar was in a training mission. Planes were flying towards each other. As Keith was saying, one was supposed to go one way, one was supposed to dart the other way. There was a bit of a mix-up and they both went the same way. Clicked wings and Shaw's plane went straight down into the ground. So many of his personal items are in this display cabinet. And there he is. That's the guy. His photographs are here. There's a nice little montage of. Was that the roof or was that the back wall? The back wall? There's not a door. Can we get round? That's the roof. You think it's the back wall? go around the back of here. We heard it. Everybody, and it wasn't doing. This is people will say it's the building, it's the structure. It might be, but it wasn't doing it before. Don't want to step over any ropes. Can you do that again, please?
More like the middle.
The middle. It was a very blunt. It wasn't like the whole building was moving. It was a very blunt. Unless it was one of the planes. I don't know. I hope this is coming out. It's the microphone's picking this up, but there's no door. The only door is the one we came through, and the big hangar door which the planes come through. So obviously, there's a big door at the front of this hangar where obviously they get the planes in and out, but you think it's coming from the right-hand side. Something on the roof. There. What is it? That helicopter, that. There. It's this side. There. It's over here. I'm going to put a second mic on because I don't know if this is coming out at home. Everybody's hearing it. I don't know if people are hearing it at home. This way. So there is a bleep. That's presumably some kind of alarm that's just going off at an interval, but Sergeant Shaw. It's a little insect, by the way, just up there. So if you do see a movement, you think it's an orb. I did see some sort of moth or something that was just up there. We always debunk stuff. So if you see it before, we always say, that's not paranormal, that's a moth. Edgar, is that you? It's fantastic if it is. We've just come to chat to you. If that is Edgar, thank you. That is. It always happens at this museum. Always. You hear something and you go to it, and then it's the other way. I'm hearing it all directions, so whatever it is, it's not caused by, for example, the wind blowing on a loose panel or a door that's rattling. It's coming from all four sides of the place. Edgar, people have seen you in here. People see your feet. Is this your way of communicating? If it is, thank you. door. That is the door. Solid door. No matter how much pressure you put on it, this thing doesn't rattle. Sure, thank you. I hope you appreciate what the museum has done with your stuff, your plane, got your photographs. That's Kyle. He's always got his phone somewhere. We'll get back to the display case, but Shaw, are you with your mother now? Minnie Shaw. She passed over not long after. I know she was heartbroken to lose her son, aged just 21, which is barely a kid. But what he did was flying planes in the Second World War, which is how many 21-year-olds today could do that when they sit with their Xboxes and stuff. But these photos, in fact, if you look at this one, he's in his flying gear. I wonder if that's the same gear that's in. Because if you look at the back of the display case, there's to the left, top left, you can see there's like his old harnesses, the seat belt that was strapped around him. That was recovered from the crash site, and you can see how tatty it is. Basically, it was. We heard you. Does someone want to hold the K2? I think it's still on the engine. Obviously, I can't have it near me because it's flashing the wireless mic. After you take the microphone, the K2, do you want to try and head over to the other side and see if you can? Obviously, don't. That was another one. Now, we did say before we came in here, it's not windy tonight. There is a slight breeze, but not enough to really rattle this place. But we're hearing all kinds of noises. It does sound like it is the building. Oh, you got it. Right. Okay, Kyle. If you can get the camera, but don't get too close because you don't want to mess up. You don't want to interact with it. Obviously, try putting your phone on airplane mode, Afton, to see if make sure it's not the phone that's you're on airplane mode and you're getting it. Wow. Okay. I'm standing nowhere near it. I'm keeping my distance, so my wireless mic's not going to mess about with it. How many lights is it flashing? 3 lights. So what that is basically saying is there is some kind of energy there. Now, Afton's shown me that her phone is on flight mode. So her phone is not messing about. You see a lot of these ghost groups that live stream stuff. They'll sit with it in their hands about 10 centimeters away from the phone or from a microphone they've got on, and it does. I've just shown you. But Afton's got her phone on airplane mode, so there's no data going back and forth. we are seeing there. I can see it from way back over here. Put it closer to the engine. It's going at the engine, but that's an engine that was pulled from the bottom of the sea. There's no electrics on it. There's certainly no cables that are live. There's no energy going through. There it goes. Why weren't we getting that before? You can see if you come to the museum and you come into the display case bit where Edgar's displays. It's to your left, and it's a rusted engine. I don't know how many years it's been sat at the bottom of the North Sea for, but 5 people died when that plane went into the North Sea. 5. Good, said another one. Yeah. Kyle, if you come this way. These are booms. These aren't the wind rattling it anymore. If you look, you've got to literally put your force into it just to shake it. Edgar, is it you? Maybe it's not Edgar. We know this museum has other entities too, people who worked here during the war, security guards. I'm sure I'm over here late at night. The museum's closed, but you don't have to chase us. We are here. We are supposed to be here. Did you fly one of these planes? Yes. Are you attached to one of these aircraft? That one was very loud. That's this side. Yeah. If getting our attention means using your energy to hit the side of this building, can you do that? Because we're going one way and then it's happening the other way. This is not unusual for this place. People who come here on ghost hunts get this all the time. Not spans. You could put it down to a building that's contracting in the cold, but it only started when we started the ghost hunt. If you want to come on a ghost hunt here at the aircraft museum. Oh. If you want to come on your own ghost hunt to this museum, and you'll be donating to charity, to what we're raising funds for, the ongoing situation in Ukraine, you can buy tickets for an event that's taking place in April, Saturday in April. Kindred Film Investigation, that is the name of the group that is going to be here. If you buy a ticket, you will come with some experts who will show you the equipment, they'll show you what to do, and we've got, just come in. We're hearing all kinds of noises.
Yeah,
I mean, this is regular for you guys.
it's nothing unusual in here.
Told you.
Down there.
So this is, I'll not come close. What is this plane? It's
It's the lightning.
the lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. Let's go to the wing.
David just firing these matchstick thing up.
Right.
They showed the one. Over that.
Yeah. We've got a SLS camera. We've got that. We've got the SLS camera out then. David's not there, is he? David's not over there.
No, he's sorting the camera out.
In the building. Someone's over there. You can hear them. Hang on, there's more going on behind me. We've got Phil. I'm going to come over. I know this is going to set it off big time, but Phil, what's going on? We were over the other side, so it's not up. So when we go away from it, it's... Phil, how do you feel about maybe having 10 minutes in here by yourself? We'll come back and get you. We're going to try and repair some equipment. Our spirit box is not working, but we'll head back out. Let's get the light. I can't see you. It's so bright, the light, that you... There we go. Kyle to shine it. So Phil's going to stay in Shaw's hangar. We are going to go over. David has an SLS camera. For those who've never seen an SLS camera before, it's basically a Kinect. It uses infrared LiDAR technology to 3D map an area. And after, will you be a volunteer? If you stand there, we'll demonstrate it on camera how these devices work. So just stand there, arms out, and then if you watch, you see Afton appears on the screen. And you get that stick figure to put the panel over Afton, and you see Afton there. So it recognises Afton is stood there. But when there's nobody standing there, and you suddenly see 3D, there's a little dance if you want, you suddenly see a 3D figure appear, but there's no people there. That's what we're after. We're going to go and regroup. We're going to get some more gear set up. Our spirit box has been a bit funny. I'm just going to turn this mic off. Sorry if that was loud. Our spirit box was... The fire's up. In fact, I'm going to show you what it was doing before. I don't know if you've got a spare spirit box with you. We're connected to an external speaker. So there, but it's going to go off as soon as I fast sweep it. Voice is coming through, and then it goes off. So we've lost it. Strange. But obviously you can hear it when you unplug it from the external speaker. So I'm going to... Speaker fully charged? Yeah. Speaker's on. Lights are on. Never done that before. It's
I've just had to put a new set of batteries in there.
in the SLS.
I put new batteries in this afternoon.
Right.
In the last about 10 seconds.
So you put new batteries in. Now I know that they are powerful things, but
Yeah. So,
incredible stuff. I tell you what, let's head over to our bags and we're going to get some more gear out because I think
but I do have ghost hunting techniques that don't use batteries.
Yeah.
Because they work best.
Yeah. Join in with us.
I will. I'll explain them as and when I come to use them.
Brilliant. We're going to go and see if we can fix our little speaker, and we're going to check on our own batteries, because one of the things that happened, Kyle, I don't know if you can see on the top of the camera there, you can see our microphones are connected. What kind of battery level are we on? Are we good? Are we?
Side, isn't it?
1, 2. Oh, we're good.
Is that good?
We're good. One of my worries tonight is that we're going to lose all our microphones, because that has happened on location before, but we're good for sound. We're doing this for charity, for Ukraine. We're doing this for the ongoing refugee situation that's going on. If you want to donate tonight, you can do. Radioshields.co.uk is the website URL. There's a big donate button on the top of there. In fact, we could jump on Facebook maybe and post that. Is the laptop still on, Kyle?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, Kyle's going to do that. In fact, we can get Afton. Is Afton coming? No, she's not. We can pop that down anyway. So
Yeah.
let's regroup. Let's have a little
Pop this here, look.
2-minute session. I'm going to pop the little shield back on the mic. If you are just joining us, by the way, we are at the Aircraft Museum in Washington, Tyne and Weir. First time we've done a live. If you watch the Dead Air videos, we're normally out and about recording stuff all the time, and this is the first time we've properly come in and do it live. Look at that. That's RAF Uxworth. So we are here, where my finger is. That is where the museum now is located. This is the old runway and the old RAF base. Now that's Washington, and that's obviously where we drove in before, Kyle, with the cars. After our little meal out, we drove in, parked around here. We are kind of in this part of, maybe around here somewhere. That's the old RAF entrance. So if you're listening on Radio Shield expecting Clean Bandit or something to come on a Saturday night, we are ghost hunting. We are live from the Northeast Land, Sea and Aircraft Museum in Washington, just a stone's throw away really from NELSAM. This baby's high chair if you want to just rest that on. Yeah, we're only going to be a minute, so we're just refreshing. We're just going to get the laptop fired up, and I'm just going to pop that down there. I'll still be able to talk to you through the microphone that I'm wearing on here. Total mystery about the spirit box. Go on. Total mystery about the spirit box. It should connect straight into the speaker. We're having all kinds of technical issues tonight, so are we still in that up sideways mode?
No, it's fixed.
Oh, it's fixed. Brilliant.
Restart up the live.
Oh, cool.
Double
I
check.
can only apologise about that. It's the first time I've brought him along. No, I'm joking. Kyle is a guy who puts his heart and soul into making radio work. He is the guy who we came up with the idea a few weeks ago about doing a ghost hunt on the radio for a fundraiser, and Kyle was straight away, yes, but I will not be doing the actual ghost hunting. But I've got him in. I've twisted the arm a little bit, and he is here. We posted it on the Facebook group, didn't we?
We did. We'll just do a
Brilliant. So obviously my phone is camera, so I can't check Facebook. I know I did have a little look while we were trying to fix YouTube a few minutes before, and there was people messaging about some screenshots, which I can't see at the minute because I'm not able to. I've got the feed ongoing. So thank you so much, everyone that's joined in. We are going to go back out there. Has anyone been here before? Drop us a comment. We'll try and have a little look at it. I'll get Kyle to, there's any comments coming through. If anyone's been ghost hunting here at the Aircraft Museum before, there's Kyle. That's okay. He's just making sure we're still on Radio Shields at the minute, because obviously Radio Shield is a DAB
radio station. It's brand new. It's been going a few months, and it broadcasts over South Shields, North Shields, Hebburn, Jarrow, Whitley Bay, up to Blythe. If you haven't heard them yet, go on there, check them out. Obviously, if you're listening to this on Radio Shields, then I'm assuming you found them at some point already. What can we bring out? That's power bank. We'll get the REM pod. I might as well tell you what these bits and pieces do, because there will be people who are joining us tonight who just want to have a bit of a laugh with us. This is a REM pod. It's basically a device that can pick up when you touch it. Look at that. I'm not even touching the thing. But if you go near it, it has one. I've never seen one of these before. Wow. And obviously the closer you go, it's a good device. So we're going to try this out. We're going to put this in one of the hangars. I think we'll try our good friend next door. Augustine. Quality's dropped. Mics are on, aren't they? Mics are on. Hold this one close as well, if that helps. Yeah. We've also got a thermal imaging camera as well. We're going to see if we are getting cold spots. This will connect to our device, and we will see if we can map in any cold spots. It will be like a blue circle, maybe a blue, whatever. When people say that thing, they say, well, I was just sat there, and suddenly it went freezing cold. Why did it go cold? Is that a psychological thing? Afton said as soon as we closed the door, when we locked her in that sea rescue helicopter, as soon as we closed that door, she said the temperature in that dropped. Now, was that something in her head? She was nervous. It was her first time she's ever ghost hunted. Or did something enter the presence of that helicopter that caused the temperature to drop? She said she heard something tapping underneath it. She was lying on it inside the helicopter, and she heard tapping underneath, so she could have felt it coming through as she lay in there. I don't know. We'll get the thermal imaging camera going, and we'll have a little look at that. Leave my research behind. I'm still perplexed as to why the speaker is not, as you can see, audio in. We'll turn it on again.
Yeah.
I'm just going to check.
We've got sound, but we've lost video completely.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Apologies if you're listening now. I'm not sure what's happened. The camera should still be on. What's the battery like on the... Oh. I think this is something to do with the signal on there. As soon as I switched the window, this came on. We've got other ways.
Yeah.
Right. Leave this behind. Are you ready to get going again?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Video's back.
I wonder if it's this. Messing about. How long was it off for?
It was off. Looks like it was off for about 1 second. A good 8 minutes of no video, so apologies.
Apologies for that. Well, we're back. So, and that post, we did put it on Facebook onto the group I typed out, didn't we? Post it on the Ghost of the Northeast.
Facebook.
Did that post? Internet's a bit slow in here. But we're getting ready to go back out. So, you are listening. We are going to go into part 2 of this. We are going to go into the hangers. We are going to see what we get. That hangar before, we were getting all sorts of
noises coming through, so yeah, did it pause 2 seconds, just bear with me, there we go, yeah, okay, let's go,
Yeah, go on.
right, let's grab our stuff and let's get into that. Trying to get back in. When you start getting a little bit of activity, it's brilliant. Let's go. So, you pick up our rig, and we're ready to go part 2. Keep
A little girl on the chair over there.
brilliant. Right, let's get straight over there. David's got his left camera, so we don't need to take ours.
What do you call it? The last thing you got with you?
After that, let's get straight over. I've never seen Kyle move so fast. I can't even see over Kyle. I thought you were nervous before. It's kind of like down to see where we are going. Okay, that'll be an SLS camera we've got. Yeah. We've got activity. Follow me to the straight. Here we are. Right, hang on. Say that again. You just held hands with those. How? Yes, the left camera. David, I'm going to you were operating it at the time. Yes, we've got this bird sitting on the seat up the top end of the higher. So I've got the chance to go and sit with your side of the table. And obviously by the size distance it was sail. So I asked if it was one of the little girls and she waved the hand to them we got. Asked them to go and stand beside the chair. She put a hand out and within seconds the little girl had. Can you go over there and try it again? Have you got the camera still out? I'll have to put the camera out. Yeah, brilliant. If we can get that, yeah. So we've got a REM pod now, so we can set some kind of communication. Right, we might drop it over. So, the SLS camera, for those who don't know, is a LiDAR piece here. Put that on. Okay. Middle one. Yeah.
You could see, they could see me and the girl, and we're blinking across the table. And then after we went stood there and started holding hands, and just the top part of my body just went freezing cold. Bottom part, no problem. Right across the chest went really cold.
So, for those who are wondering what we're talking about in SLS camera, it's LiDAR, which naked to the invisible eye, but if you look through night vision, you would see like a little laser beam fired out into the square. It will map the table, the chairs, and it will create a 3D image on the screen. And when a human stands there, it's just a human, like when we saw Aston a few minutes ago, it will map her out as a stick figure. And that's what we're trying to find. These cameras are said to be able to pick up on those kind of things. If there's a spirit, like say, sat in the chair, hopefully it will be able to map it out using the infrared light to show be able to see if someone sat there. Never felt it. Did you feel? How did your hand feel? So you saw it on the screen and you felt on the skin tingle.
We were watching the screen, and just to see which screen hold your hand, lower it down, because obviously the height distance, and then seeing you've got like little yellow dots on the stick figure, where your hand sort of goes, and your hand went up to each hand, and see
when she said she felt a angry pull, and was on the screen, was that thing was like sort of level.
We're hoping David's going to bring the camera down. The helicopter was worse.
Yeah. That was really comfortable compared to what it was in the helicopter.
So we think it's a child that was
Yeah.
sitting there. So there is a child.
So,
How do you know it's a girl?
she was fine.
Right. All right, so she interacts with. Yeah. It'll beep when you touch it. Do you think we can recreate that somewhere? Sometime save it to try and do that then. The guys off and we've got the and we've got a room that we've got one of the kids in it. Would it be possible if you could try and recreate that there? And do it that bit of something, you know? Or just make it so the batteries are gone. But we saw you just putting in. You heard your clear off, just had to put some new batteries in. No much power in the batteries to sort it up again. Well, we've got one that's 16 batteries in half an hour. Right, that's race across, we've got one. We need to try, if you're getting that thing, you need to let that one. You've got to quick possible. After the people today, we're going to ask you, when we're going to see out in the helicopter, you can start with, you have an experience, you found in bar. Yeah, on the side of the, not now, but in a few seconds time. That makes sense. Oh, sorry. There we go. Right. And there's attached to my course, so apologies there, it's just causing a bit of an inconvenience. So again? Yeah, because earlier on I'll recreate what happened and they were witnesses. I came to this door, went to open it, as it opened, the rock was more of a pebble, probably one of these, came down. So we're going to say, well, we'll take this off. We'll go inside and we'll take this off. Thank you, whoever reminded me of that. That's what we'll do. So I'll take the mic off. We'll maybe attach it on there. So it's not touching the main jacket. Is that any better? Let us know if it's still excellent camera. Bear with me while I get this thing set up. In the box still. Okay, let's get this all excellent camera up and running. We'll just use the other mic then, I do apologise. We'll use the handheld. Is that better? We'll just use this one instead. It's okay, level wise. It's going to ask you after if you control my mic just a second while I get this fired up. Just takes a few minutes. Joys of ghost hunting with lots of equipment. So, you're aware of the microphone sound? We might have fixed it. Kyle, if I ask you to hold the mic a second, give radio to and plug in the donate.
live on Dead Air TV on YouTube. Good evening, thanks for joining us tonight. Brilliant. Let's go. Yeah, you can put the mic down.
Maybe the big house is still picking up open time. Maybe the cover on it.
That could be. You turn that mic off. There, we've got rid of that. How does that sound? This mic is not on now, it's this microphone. Moving around. Is that okay? Very wide. How are we sounding now? Good. We'll head over. We'll get this because I'm trying to get the camera going to the places and testing it. Still getting it. We'll swap it round. We'll obviously there might be a slight delay. Just take this one out and use the handheld. Take this one out. And we'll put a little shield, a little sponge over the end just so we don't get easily. Right, there we go. How is that sounding now? Are we good? Someone pop in the comments there. This is live ghost hunting, live radio. And we'll go through and we'll follow you through. It's as if it's the sound is running off this and then for some reason. What's it? Do you see me? It's level, but for whatever reason, because it was high quality earlier, it was like sounding really good. So connected. Let's go through anyway. Let's go through. After we'll get the doors. I'm not sure. So it's just coming through the phone. It's not coming through the mic.
Well, we're live. At least we know we're live.
Oh, that's it, fixed.
We're fixed. There we go.
That's a lot better. Yeah, you're fixed.
Fixed. Well, you can try in the toilets if you want, Afton, but we're going to use you as a guinea pig for the next bit. We're going to try with our SLS camera in the main hangar. There we go. Okay, Kyle's, yeah, we can turn that on mute. So let me just turn this on. There we go. Afton, if you just, it was the connection. Okay. Okay. We're going to try it again. Wait for a second.
Like just a little bit. See if she's there.
Okay. Do you want to hold it? So just hold it. There's little. There we go. It's pointed at the chairs. Is it fuzz? Again, we're having all sorts of things going. So we've got our own SLS camera, and tell you what, close the software and see if we can restart it again. And there we go. It's happening to their camera as well, so it's not just us tonight. It's happening to them. We can. There we go. That should come on now. There we go. Let me know if it freezes. So Afton is now pointing the SLS camera at 3 chairs and a table Oh, and we've just heard a bang. The guys over there are just, if you're hearing voices in the background, that is there's Phil over there with the other two. Maybe get closer to it. Just walk a little bit closer so that the laser is... There we go. Just move around it, just sort of see if you can pick it up. So Afton's now pointing the SLS camera at the chairs where we did map a figure in just a few minutes ago. Nothing's coming through. Just get right up close to the chairs. Just get closer. Is there anybody sitting here? There's nothing coming through. Is it froze again?
Yeah.
We'll try something else. It's typical, isn't it? This works every other... We'll try another one. We'll try that one. This works every time we come on a ghost hunt, and then you come and you do it live on the radio. And just bear with me while I set this up for Afton using the Connect. This one. So there we go. That should come up now. If not, if it's happening to two SLS cameras, then you know that there's something funny going on here. But installizing. Let's give it a second. So I'm just going to see. If you just hold fire there, I'm just going to see what's happening over here because I can hear voices. I just want you to know, obviously, this isn't spirit voices. There are other people, so I'm just going to. We're always open. We're always honest. So people are hearing voices, but there are some guys over here. Are you getting anything over here?
Yeah. It's one of the kids off the farm where they used to have chickens. I've just asked them if they had chickens. They're saying yes.
Right. Because for those that don't know, there was a farm on this area.
Yeah.
There was a murder on this area.
There was, I mean, you're going way, way back when there was a farm here, and the farmer's wife got murdered.
Yeah.
And from what we can gather, there was this Polish chap who used to work for them, and he got the blame for it, but it was really the farmer's husband, our husband, that murdered her.
Right.
From what we can gather, isn't it?
Whoa, behind you. This way. Behind there's a big knock from through here. I don't know if anyone else heard that. A big knock from the shop. Yeah? Hang on. What?
Someone up there,
Where?
like literally up here.
What?
Like a tap, there was just something.
Above you. So there's wreckage up here. A plane wreckage. A tap up here. It got my attention, and then we've come through. Is that somebody in this part? Up here. Who's that? Oh,
It's the camera.
it's the camera. Debunked. Debunked.
It's the camera.
That wasn't what made that noise before.
It wasn't, it was like a tap.
We're having all sorts of malfunctions in here tonight, and I'm going to ask if what's going on with this SLS camera, because there's two SLS cameras in the space of how many minutes?
Has yours gone off now?
Ours has gone off as well.
Yeah, I was did. Twice.
So it's saying it's not powered, but I'm switching it on and then switching it off, initializing, not powered.
Are you friendly?
The guys are just They're doing a separate. If you're hearing voices, there are other people in here. We've got Phil.
No. Just say no. Can you stop, please?
So they've got a compass.
Emily, have you got
Got a
chickens?
compass. Again. Look at that. Not responding. This is the second SLS camera. The other one's been switched off.
Please, can you stop for me, please? Please stop for me.
So I think, because we've got enough people in here, we should get into one of the other hangars, spread out a bit so we're not hearing each other. But this has been a bit funny. I'm not sure what's going on with my SLS camera, but I'm switching this off.
Is that you, Emily?
Okay.
Are you Emily?
Keith's just pointing to automagnetic ring. So, yeah.
If there's any spirits here with us now, can you move that ring for us?
So Keith's just placed a ring on a glass cabinet that's got some planes inside it. I'm just going to switch my SLS off. Oh, look at that on the end. On the end.
It'll move like that all the time.
It's swinging. That's not just moving, that's swinging.
Now, the reason behind this is it represents a wedding ring, because
Right.
this is what the farmer's wife lost.
Okay.
And on the question, so what did losing the ring mean? The reply was, he killed us.
We're hearing all sorts behind.
Yeah. So the story from the farm is she lost her wedding ring. Her husband accused her of being unfaithful, and which led to her death. And then this Polish immigrant farm worker was blamed for the death, and the locals took the law into their own hands. So he lost his life, so he's tied to the area.
Yeah.
And so the only one that's not here is the farmer himself. We don't know whether he faced justice because of what happened.
Yeah.
But that's the reason we've got it's a magnetic ring. That's why it's oscillating, because it's trying to find north and south as a compass would.
Yep.
But
listen to all that. Listen to that. I hope you can hear that.
now, if we're lucky, we can ask this farmer's wife if she'll come and try and get the ring.
Kyle, you've got this on camera. Yeah.
So we can ask if she can come and try and get the ring, which will either cause it to speed up or to actually slow down and stop.
Right.
So we can try that now.
Let's go for it.
Elle, are you still looking for the wedding ring? We think we might have found it.
Do you know the exact location of the farm, roughly?
Yes, under that hangar.
Which hangar?
The one where he hides in.
Augustine.
That's where the farmhouse used to be.
Right. I think we need to get over there. We've been in here. I think we need to get into Augustine's space, because that's where it really kicks off. I'm just going to grab my REM pod from over here. We're going to go into a couple more hangars. If you're just tuned in, we are live from the Northeast Land, Sea and Aircraft Museum in Washington. It's going to make a noise when I switch it off. I think we need to get into a place where there's no other voices, where we can get no contamination. These guys are doing their own little investigation in here. We're going to get into another one. What's happening?
It's just about doing a full circle.
Oh, the magnetic ring. Yeah, it's still going. It's really kicking off.
It's a white light.
The white light, it'll slow down now.
Yeah. Look at it.
Yeah, we're getting it now. Right, we need. What happened? The light's gone out.
I've just turned it off.
Oh, that was
Just
Kyle.
so we can see,
Yeah.
Can you make the ring stop, please?
Make the ring stop.
Go on. I know it's difficult, but go on, try. I'll give it a go. Go on, we're all hoping to use all our energy. Can you try just stepping away from it a bit? Give it a bit less energy. Go on, step away. See if it'll slow down.
We'll come back to this. I think we need to get into Augustine's hangar because that's, for me, where we're going to try and get some activity in there. We'll be back. We've got another challenge coming up for somebody. Trying to think what we need to do. What we need to do with somebody. We need to. Afton did the helicopter, and to be honest, I didn't think she was going to. I thought she was going to be running out the door within seconds of us running out the door, and I thought we were going to have a backup, but she lasted. She lasted. Let's get into Augustine's place. Now, if you go on the Dead Air YouTube channel, you can see I had a right good encounter with this thing a couple of years ago. Oh, is that the wind just blowing the door open? I think that's the wind. I just saw the door moving of the hangar. See if we can close it behind us so we don't get any drafts coming through. I'm going to turn the vent pod on. Right, we are in the hangar that supposedly is haunted by a Czech spy. What's that? Is the door still? He does this. But it's not this door, because it doesn't groan. Augustine? Augustine? You might remember me from a couple of years ago. I've still got unanswered questions from you. For those who didn't miss the start of the show and maybe don't know the backstory, there was a Czech spy that got captured. That's the plane. It was a lot worse than this. Well, 2 years ago, this place was going off it. He was a Czech spy who was captured by the Nazis before the war, before he joined the RAF. And he was brainwashed into working for them, so he signed up and came to Britain and was based at this RAF base. And to cut a long story short, he stole a plane and flew back to mainland Europe, back to Belgium, crash-landed it, which he'd been practicing. He crash-landed it at Penshaw Monument as a practice for when he flew back to Belgium. And he flew it. A couple from Belgium took him in and basically helped him camouflage the plane and looked after him, and then he went and grassed them up, had them executed, and later on, after the war, he was hanged in Prague for what he did. But apparently this is the place he comes back to. He's not welcome in the Czech Republic, in Czechoslovakia, as it was back then. People see him in this space. Augustine, we're going to give you a chance to get rid of us. We will leave
and we will never come back. But if you want me to do that, you need to tell me to get out of here. Look at this, Augustine. I don't know where you are. This device, it makes a noise if you touch it. Watch. Can you do that? People often see shadows at the back of these hangars where he goes. People see feet, as if there's somebody stood there. He's been photographed as well. And Keith has got a little digital camera with all the photographs on. So, Augustine, we know you come to this place. We know you haunt this place.
Whoa. Is that a voice?
It sounded like a groan, but it's not that door.
It's not the door.
It's not the door, because we've tried the door.
Bob, did you hear that?
No. I heard, well,
Can you make that noise again?
this side. Was it this side? You heard it. Kyle, the cameraman. In fact, you know what?
Make that noise again.
Don't tell them. Stay there. Augustine. Just watch your head on that. Bloody hell. That's moving. That's the plane. That's the plane wings.
It is.
Someone's walking on the top of this plane.
Wow. Back over here.
Augustine. Is that the door? Is that you whistling? Oh, okay. I heard a whistle. Can we get this door completely shut so we can... Can't. But we know that the door just doesn't make that noise. Back. Augustine. I think that's something blowing in the... I don't know. Augustine, you've got our attention. Why were you on the Nazi side? Why did you fight for Germany? Why did you come here and pretend that you were fighting for the Allies? Did you not know what was happening in the war? You were brainwashed. It was that plane, but it was as we went into it. Is there somebody else here that's maybe not Augustine? Maybe a... I'm going to get under there. Made it stop. If that was somebody that made that move, could you do that again? There's no drafts coming through.
No.
There's no draft.
No draft whatsoever.
So we're, for those listening that can't see this, we're underneath a plane, and there's a, I'll describe it, it's just a bit of material, a bit of fabric that's dangling down below it, that was moving back and forth. I'm going to try and get out from under here. And then there was definitely it was definitely on one of these wings. Is that somebody coming in? Somebody's playing about. The ropes, it's easier to cross the rope just here. For those just joining us, we are at the Aircraft Museum in Washington, the site of former RAF Uxworth. Said to be one of the most haunted places in the north. There's nobody outside here making a noise. Let's debunk this if there is. So I don't like people messing about. I don't like anybody tapping on things, making a... They're all in that hangar.
Can you hear that?
What, like
It sounds as if an aircraft's taken off.
it couldn't be the Nissan factory, could it?
It could be.
I mean, Nissan is
They're quite close, aren't they?
just on the other side of the fence, basically.
Could well be machinery.
I want to go and look for the guard. In fact, finish with him, because just watch your step. It's a bit uneven. Yes, so we are doing this for Ukraine. We are doing this for the ongoing conflict that's going on. We are raising money, so please, if you're watching and you want to donate to what's going on to help the refugee crisis, radioshields.co.uk, hit the big donate button and pledge whatever you're comfortable doing. If you can't donate, have a look at local drop-off points for collections. I know the Hub in North Shields is one of those that are doing a really good thing at the minute. Donate anything from clothes that you don't want, socks that you don't want, T-shirts that maybe don't fit anymore. What the hell is that? Did that sound like it was this? Who's there? Oh, we can come round here. We can come round. Who's here? Can I climb up here? It's footsteps. Can I get a good... I probably shouldn't be allowed up here, but it's my way of being able to see. I am sorry if I get told off for this. If you just shine the light that way, Kyle. There we go. Who's in here? Can I see you? That's something moving on the outside of the building, it's got to be. Who made the bang? Can you do it again? I'm up here now, so I can see all around. You know, we go on about all our equipment has malfunctioned tonight. The spirit box malfunctioned, the camera malfunctioned, the SLS camera, both SLS cameras malfunctioned. Sometimes you don't need it. You can get the activity. Augustine from Czechoslovakia, hanged for your crimes. I think somebody needs to come in here. There were some seats over there. We could put somebody in here. Because there's so much of this airfield, this museum to cover. And there's not... Bloody hell was that? It's... Look, this is solid. You can't move this.
Yeah, solid.
Let's try and go outside because there's got to be somebody out here. If it was something on the outside of this building, on the outside of this hangar, that was moving in the wind, you would see it and you would hear it. Who's here? Is that it? If you push this, something inside moves. But was that the noise we were hearing? But if so, the wind can't do that because it takes too much effort. Somebody would have to be here doing it, and there's nobody out here. Well, I'm all up for putting somebody in there. I think we need to get Afton or Phil out. I think Afton wants to do another one. I want to go and have a look at the Vulcan bomber because that's around there. But also, if people see a guard and his German Shepherd dog around the outskirts of this old RAF field. We're just going to go into display hangar and get Kyle's keeping up. If you want to donate, radioshields.co.uk, donate for Ukraine. We're doing this. If you're generous, if you want to, what's this way, isn't it? You want to give us a bit of cash that goes straight over to fight the situation that's going on at the minute in Ukraine. Where have they gone? Hello? Keep the light off. Okay. Well, they're getting some activity over there. Hang on. I can't see where I'm going, but what are you I'm just here. What are you getting?
A ring movement.
Ring movement. So Afton's now showing me a video on her phone. Again, creaky. It's moving around. And you had your hands on that and you didn't feel the table move, it was just a steady...
It's glass table.
Well, we need a victim for the next challenge. Oh, can't say it's in the dark, but...
Glow in the dark.
You get the camera to glow in the dark, she says.
Camera to glow in the dark?
No, the ring glows in...
Work out how to little
The compass.
a little pointer on the compass thing. Can you pick that up, can you, without light?
No.
No.
We're not seeing it, but we've got stuff going on in the hangar over there. We need to put somebody in there because there's too many spaces to cover. We need to get...
Been for a whiskey, haven't you?
Yeah, we need to go into somewhere light so people watching need to be able to see something. So we need to go back. Afton, we need to... Or Phil, can we borrow one of you? We need to put you in a space we've got... If you come with us... Has anyone got the time? What time are we on? 10. Oh, we haven't got long. Yeah. Yeah, but obviously we need to get more. We've We haven't even covered half the hangers yet. It's now Afton, we're not going to tell you where's she gone. Oh, are you coming? Afton, we need to. You're not here. No. Okay. Well, we've got a. One of you has to go in because we're going to go into the helicopter hangar where you've already been. So. Yeah, your dad can go in. What we're going to do, we're not going to tell you what has happened in here, right? But you do know the story about Augustine, the Czech spy.
Yeah.
He's in here, or somebody is in here. I think they're a bit nervous about coming in. So we are in the hangar where we think we were getting some activity before. We need somebody to sit in here by themselves for 10 minutes. Phil, we're ready? There we go. One of you needs to come in here. We need to leave you in here because we're. One of you, who wants to do it? Yeah. Why don't one of you sit there? I think there's some seats somewhere else, is there? Actually, you can sit together. Just sit in silence. Obviously, ask if anyone is here with you. I'm not going to tell you what happened 10 minutes ago, but see what happens. Yeah, it gets cold in here. We'll come back. But yeah, we'll come back and we'll see what you think of this place in a few minutes' time. So we've left those in there. I notice Afton's gone from doing stuff by herself now, so can my dad stay? Okay. We're going to go into hangar 2. I don't know the number system of this place, but we'll get the light switched off straight away because I can see a light on in there. So there we go. Let's turn this light off. Let's push the door shut. Nobody out here. I'm going to try it. Stay that on that side, Kyle. You've got to push it, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's not the wind doing that.
This one isn't as strong as the shot out there.
I mean, it does need the wind. You do need to give it a bit of push, but let's get inside anyway and close the door. And I mean, you've got to try and debunk all the paranormal bits that go on because things do happen. Okay, so the Westland. Let's get some activity going with this. So we've left the REM pod down there, but that's okay. We can still call out. This apparently moves, so I'm gonna. Can you hold the mic a sec, Kyle?
Yeah.
Now I noticed Afton was covered in dust before, so I'm going to be careful about lying down in here. But okay, so I'll go for it. can see how dusty it is just looking at the handprints on the microphone. Okay. It's actually not too uncomfortable, but I couldn't imagine being winched. Are you getting something out there?
Yeah, some strange noises out here.
I couldn't imagine being winched out of the sea at however many feet high this helicopter would be flying and then winched up. I'm lying on a... Just going to close my eyes a little bit, and I'm lying on a bed on a stretcher that's strong enough. It's made of metal because obviously this is going to carry people out of the sea. And obviously it can't afford to snap or break, so that's why it's made of metal. How many people were... Why is this place... It's got to be the wind. Who was here before when Afton was here? Tapped underneath the helicopter. Can somebody do that again, please? Who's linked to this helicopter? Did you die in the helicopter? Did you drown? Did you fly the helicopter? Is this your pride and joy? If you're watching this on YouTube, share it, please. Share, share, share. And we'll get as many people fundraising as possible. We're doing this for another crisis that's going on in the world right now. But this helicopter was used on the south coast of England, rescued people from the water, from the sea. There was a boat race in the 1960s where a number of people were... I think that's my stomach rumbling. A number of people were airlifted up and rescued. Some of them didn't make it. So this was a rescue and also a recovery helicopter. So you can imagine people who were barely, pulled out of the water, worked on. I'm hearing noises outside, but I can't tell which, because it's a bit muffled in here. I can't tell which way it's coming from, but I'm just looking at Kyle's face as he's darting left and right. Which way is it coming from? Is that the door?
All over at the minute.
It's got to be the wind.
It must be the wind. It has to be.
It's got to be the wind. But who tapped on the helicopter? Can you make it move? Can you vibrate it? I'm hearing all sorts out there. People have taken photographs and seen people inside here. Who are those people? Can you rock the helicopter? I just know for a fact I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to be covered in dust. It's going to be... I'm looking around for people who can't see this. It's kind of... I don't know what this is. There's some kind of insulation. There's a lot of material around the place where I'm not sure its purpose. I'm not really up on this kind of technology. But I'm assuming this is all original, so this has seen things. And then directly above my head is where the pilot would go. I heard a big one there. It's got to be someone trying to come in. But there's nobody out there. That's shaking it. That's violent. It's not windy enough to do that. That's somebody doing that. Right. It's got to be. I'm covered in dirt, aren't I? I don't like that laugh. That means it's probably worse than I thought it was going to be. Who's doing that? If this is the outside rattling in the wind, it would do it now. Yeah. It's got to be the wind, but maybe it is. You can see it moving, look. Oh, hang on. We've got Afton out here. What's up? Anything? Laughing? Who's laughing?
I don't know. They're just laughing. Occasionally you can hear it in the back corner, laughing.
When you say you can hear it, are you...
Like it just echoes.
Does it sound like a man or a woman or...
Like I don't know, like a child.
Let's get the light down and see where we're going. There we go. Phil's still in here, yeah? Well, you're hearing laughing? Well, we didn't get that. We were getting bangs, but well, if anyone from the museum asks, we didn't do this. We climbed over the rope and we went to the back.
I've been round the back of that corner.
Oh, so it was. If anyone asks, it was him. Okay. But somebody was walking across the top of that wing when we were in here, and underneath there's a bit of fabric coming down, and that was swaying back and forth.
Had a few bangs, and I'm sure there was voices as if they were laughing at us.
Laughing.
Having a whiskey or something.
I swear I saw something in there.
What did you see?
Like
in the
two
plane?
eyes, like two eyes, but I don't know
Okay.
if it was a reflection.
Turn the light out there.
Well, no, you leave light on. You need to leave light on. Otherwise, people will just look at a black screen. So Phil's coming to the back. This is an old World War One plane, I think. Feel it? It's made of fabric. It's not metal. It's proper old thing.
Canvas? Whoa.
Outside. It plays with you. It plays with you. A dog? There's a dog? Quick, there's a guard dog meant to be here. Yeah. It's over here. I'm hearing a dog. I don't think it's coming from our side of the fence, but... at the fence, it's just overgrown. There's obviously a pub that's closed up now. They don't use guard... They don't use guard dogs at Nissan, do they?
No.
If anybody knows anybody that works at Nissan, they wouldn't... 2022, they don't use guard dogs, do they? Or do they? I don't know. But it didn't sound like an Alsatian. It didn't sound like something that... There is a guard that's seen around here, a guard walks and patrols it with his dog. And I think he's over that end, but we've got a bit of time, so we'll head over. This is where the Vulcan bomber is, by the way. If you go on YouTube and you search for the Vulcan bomber coming into Sunderland, this exact plane landed just on the other side of the fence there where NELSAM now is, where the factory is. And it never left. It stayed on the site, and it was brought. Obviously, you can't leave here now because it's the runway's gone. So we're just on the grass. Northeast Airlines to the right. That's an old 60s, 70s plane, commercial flight. Was that what we were hearing in there? Who's the guard? We're not trespassing. We're allowed to be here. I know you patrol the site, you come and look for people, making sure there's no one trespassing. David, that you saw before, who works at the museum, he spent all of lockdown painting this Vulcan bomber. Some people stayed at home, learned a new skill, sat in Zoom calls. David, who just lives on the other side of the estate, came and painted this Vulcan bomber. Look at the size of it. It's huge. In fact, you can walk underneath it and still be miles away from it. And there's a video on YouTube of this plane landing, and they fired it up about 3 years ago. They actually got one of the engines going. It was the team that did the restoration on Bluebird, the Donald Campbell speedboat attempt. They came and they managed to get this plane going again. They only got one. I'll show you. They only got one engine going again because it had to be this side. Because there's a couple of engines. They could only do. Let's torch up this one, because if they'd gone for the left-hand side, it would have fried that mast over there. You just get the camera on the mast. So they had to use this side, and apparently all the grass down here, I mean, you can see where it's not growing now. All the grass was burnt. In the seconds that they had it going, they used about 50 gallons of petrol. But it's an incredible. I don't believe there's any ghost stories linked to it, but I don't think you should come to this museum and not look at a Vulcan bomber, because that is aviation engineering at its absolute finest. A lot of the planes that do come here have the engines stripped out because they don't need them anymore. They're not going to fly again, so what do you need an engine that nobody can see? And it's easier to move the plane around because you've got the main weight of the plane taken out. It's also pretty much a full-time job keeping these tyres pumped up. I know that one's gone flat, but also it helps the fact it won't roll away. So thank you so much for everyone watching so far. I don't even know what time we're going to go on till. We've been told we can stay as long as we can, so as long as you're happy to watch, we'll still do some ghost hunting for you. We just put the camera in front, I sort of see where we're going. The light, there we go. On the other side of this fence is a patch of land. It's all overgrown, it's just wasteland, but that was where a lot of the barracks were, where people slept when this was an RAF field. That was the living quarters. This was obviously all like other buildings and what have you. I feel like I'm walking on someone's cabbage patch there. It's basically a plain graveyard, this place. Everything is So we're out here doing this for a fundraiser. I'm going to keep mentioning it because this is the reason we're out here. We've already been and done this place a few times before at the Aircraft Museum in Sunderland. We're doing it for Ukraine. We're trying to get as many people to watch and listen to what we're doing. We're on the radio, we're on YouTube. If you want to donate, please go onto radioshields.co.uk. There's a big donate button in the colours of the Ukraine flag. Please do. I can't stress it enough that it's an ongoing crisis at the minute and people are literally dying every day. So, is your dad still in there? That's a very good question because I don't think we got him out, did we? This, I want to show you this as well. Oh, hang on, we've got Keith and David.
You're not going to believe this. That phone's just been ringing.
The phone?
Yeah, definitely. Rang 4 times.
We heard laughing.
I'm honestly, I'm speechless with that.
That's the first time in all these years I've ever heard it. David said,
Clear as day.
phone's ringing.
Phone's ringing. We ran through the street scene.
Can we go back in?
To hear the last ring.
Is it like one of those ones where you have to turn it and then it's sort of like a turny? Because it's obviously an old... Who would do that though? Who would do that?
What, ring the phone?
Yeah. Because I'm assuming this is not linked to this site at all. It's like Beamish, isn't it? Beamish Museum has...
It's dead, the phone. There's nothing there.
We get the light in there. Let's put the light through. So it's that phone at the back, that behind that white cup. Is it like an old, like a bell type ring, like an old-fashioned?
Yeah, like ring.
Right. Yeah, old-fashioned, definitely old-fashioned ring.
Can you ring the phone again, please? We'll answer it. I think we can get in there, can we?
No.
Who are you trying to speak to? Behind you.
And then we heard women's voices, chattering away.
Yeah.
Just having a good old conversation with themselves.
Who are you trying to talk to?
I cannot believe it. That's the first time I've ever heard that. Through there, and he said, listen, the phone's ringing.
I'm going to try and use some ITC communication. So, this is a voice bank that we're using. There's thousands of little sounds that come through this. Let me just... Let me just get the device running. I think Phil is still in Augustine's haunt. But okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to run the sound bank and we're going to try and see if anybody can come through and talk to us. This is how it works. It's playing the sounds. We get some amazing stuff with this. Boleskine House. That video on our YouTube channel was absolutely incredible. Edgar, can you come and say hello? So this is using EMF to try and put together sounds using about 2,000 syllables that are in here. Edgar, tonight is your anniversary. It is. Let's go this way. Are you still here? Are you at peace? Are you at peace? Oh, there's something else I really... Oh, let me go through here. There's something else I really want to show you. We've got, you might have to duck. Do not get decapitated, whatever you do. Edgar? Who is still here? Can you tell me your name? And how many people are here? Yes? Is there... That was a Geordie voice. It said cheers. I want to show you the memorial over here because this is... 10. Did you say 10? I heard a little girl as well. So, look at all of these names on the wall on this memorial. Every single cross on here is a person who died from this RAF field. Starting at the top, so there's one for each year of the war. So 37, that was obviously someone who died training here. And then obviously, as you can see, the war went on each year more and more. And then the last year of the war it goes up to 43. But it was obviously a very bloody year in 1941. Whoa, was that a light? Did you see a light flash?
Yes.
Was that a photo? Might have been a photo. Was that a photo? If you just get it on it, I'm looking for... Can you see your name on here? Is your name on here? It said Lisa. There's a lot of Polish names on here, a lot of because they came over and they were fighting for Britain. Who says that? We'll give them a shout. Shout out to whoever that is. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, John. Give us a shout out if you want a shout out, we'll do that. All of these people were based here, so if they were based here, they were based on this bit of land where the camp was. So at some point they took off and they didn't come back, but... Am I stood in front of one of your names? Which one are you? I want Edgar to come forward because it's your day. This is all about you today, Edgar. Edgar. I can't even see Edgar's... What was he, 42? Where were you, Edgar? Edgar, right in the middle. Right in the middle. There was another one. There's another anniversary coming up in the 28th of March. Sergeant James Ashley Everard. Let's walk round. Did we get Phil? I want to know if... Because he's getting laughing. We might pick this up on our speaker. Phil, did you hear any more laughing over there?
No, I went into the tram shed with the trams and the buses and that, and then I was just reading a magazine because there's like bookcase of magazines, and then all of a sudden the door just slammed shut, and there's no, like, it's a heavy door and there's no wind out there to shut that door. I wouldn't have thought.
Is this taken just now?
I've just took it.
Oh, so we did see a flash, but yeah, we've got a nice, beautiful orb right in the middle, and that was taken pointing that way, was it?
Yeah, that's a little boy by the look of it.
You zoom out so we can see where the picture was taken, where that's next to... What is that? That's the stairs. Okay.
The inside our plane.
For those that don't know what an orb is, maybe brand new to this, people believe it's spirit energy. We don't know. Scientifically, we don't know. People do theorize it might be dust or static or whatever, but sometimes you can zoom in on them. You can get faces, you can get all sorts, but we're going to head back through while they're investigating. We need to really spread out on a site like this because we've got so many people, but so many areas to get in and cover. I'm going after I want Augustine because I know he bites and I know you can anger him and you can disrespect him and you can make him. I know they say don't disrespect the dead, but he is a guy who's not a good person. He's a murderer. He's a spy. He betrayed the RAF. He worked for the Nazis, and he had a Belgian couple killed. It's cold out here. And I've been in here so many times, I don't mess with this guy anymore. I just totally go straight in and get him. Augustine, I'm back. I'm back. Who are you laughing at? What's funny? Where are you? I'm not leaving you alone. Who are you laughing at? You're laughing at Phil and his daughter. She's only young. She's only a child. What's funny? Why are you hiding? Shaw. Did you say Shaw? I've got a voice bank here full of words. Maybe you can put them into check. I don't know. Augustine? Why has it gone silent in here? Why isn't the... Have you noticed it's not making a bang? It's not rattling. He's shut up. He has shut up. Augustine? I don't know how to say your second name, but I know how to say your first name. What? Did you hear? What? I heard something, but... I thought it wasn't clear. Where have you gone? Do you not like us? I think it's something blowing, but... Tap the plane, like you did before. Augustine. How many people are in here? 2. I know there's myself, there's Kyle. Were you hanged back in Prague, Czechoslovakia, after the war? What was funny? Why were you laughing? Why were you laughing? For those who are tuned in on the radio, we are not shouting at people in the streets. It sounds like we are. We are at the Aircraft Museum. We're raising money for Ukraine. We're on a ghost hunt.
Augustine. Yes. Go on. Let's go this way. Thank you, everyone that's tuned in. Why have you stopped shaking this? Why have you stopped banging in here? We won't stop leaving you alone. I keep coming back here. I'll be back again next month. And I'll be coming straight back after you unless you chase me out of here. You need to make me so frightened that I won't come back here before I stop chasing after you. Are you linked to one of the planes in here? Did you fly one of these? I'm touching it. How does that make you feel? Are you British? Were you in the RAF? If you look, Kyle, that thing that was swaying before isn't doing it now. So whatever caused that to start swaying in the first place.
Yeah, it's not moving at all.
It's not moving at all. Just shine the light in there. Oh, I can see what's at the back of that. That's like a... Oh, wow, it's like part of the engine of the... Look at the spider's cobwebs in there. Is Edgar Grenville Shaw, George Hamilton, men who lost their lives at this RAF airbase. How do we get out of here again? This way, isn't it? I'm walking between planes and trying not to decapitate ourselves by slicing our heads off on these because they're quite, feel like that's sharp, that's sharp. If you want to come on a ghost hunt here and do this, there is a fundraising event happening in April. Kindred Spirit Investigations. They're a professional team of ghost hunters that sell tickets in aid of the situation in Ukraine. And if you want to donate but also get something back, you can do that as well. Come on their event, use their equipment, use their gadgets if it works. I know that we've had all sorts of malfunctions tonight. We've had the camera malfunction. We've had the mics malfunction. We've had 2 SLS cameras. 2, not 1. If it was 1, that was maybe the batteries were too low or something. But for 2 to go is quite. I've never seen that before, and I've been ghost hunting for probably 12 years now. 12, 13 years, and I've never seen 2 of the same devices owned by 2 different people, mine and David's from the museum, both gone. We're doing it for Ukraine. Radioshields.co.uk. Hit the donate button on there. Be generous as you like, even if you could only put a little bit in, a little bit is still something. That could go towards a packet of paracetamol or something that the aid teams are sending over to help people. Anything, medical supplies, food. There's a list of things on. You just go on the website and search in British Ukraine Aid. It tells you what you can and can't send. There's obviously some things you can't send, some things they're really desperate for. That's why we're back at the Aircraft Museum. I want to say thank you as well before we move on to Keith and David from the Aircraft Museum for just saying, to stay as long as you want. So as long as there's people happy to watch, we're happy to go after, because I do this all the time. So I think we can. Should we go after the tram shed? Yeah. People photograph stuff over there, so we haven't actually had the cameras in here yet. So this is actually quite a new-ish part of the museum. It was opened a few years ago. This is more sort of the buses, trams. One of the buses in here, I believe, was involved in a fatal accident in Blackpool. So there is some connection. Well, you get the lights on. Phil said he comes in here and wants to investigate. He's got the lights on. He's got the lights on. Hold it. That's better. Let's push the door shut. Oh, they're flickering.
Wow.
We just switched them off. Are they off? All of them off? There. Ah. That's why. There. There's plenty of photographs, by the way, that if you ever do come down here, Keith will always be down here for the ghost hunts, and he has photographs of faces in some of these. And like I say, there are spirits connected to some of these. Children in here as well, children. So, hello. My name's Rob. I've got Kyle joining me as well. Who is here? Are you linked to one of the vehicles here, or are you linked to the site, the aircraft site? Phil said earlier on, when we did a walk around of this place, that he walked up to here and felt cold. I'm not feeling... Oh, this is the Blackpool one.
Yes.
This is the Blackpool one. And he said he felt cold here.
There's a beach here.
Somebody got killed. Somebody got run over by this. Oh my God, this is the Blackpool tram. And this is, he said the stairs, didn't he? These stairs. Yes. He said as soon as you get there, you feel it cold.
Wow. Yes, that's right.
Who's here? Can you... My name's Rob. Kyle. What's your name? People have seen a little person, a little child. Their face is inside, looking out. Are you connected to this?
Hello.
Did you get run over by this?
Sure.
This is the one that hit you. Are you here? We're just here for a chat. What's your name? Can't see anybody inside. Oh, did you see? You got the reflection. That's what you've got to be careful about. I mean, I know. Oh, this is Black. This is also Blackpool, but this is. It was one of the Blackpool trams. I don't know which one it is. Can you walk past us so that your cold air brushes past us? Use this. You can put a word together. Oh, I've just remembered. Can you remember the cards and the dice?
Yes.
We need to go and check those. I don't know if you were watching earlier on, if those who were on YouTube, there were some cards, some playing cards and some dice in the military museum. We've not looked at those for a couple of hours. I think you go this way round. For those of you, by the way, that think this place looks amazing, because was that a moth? I thought someone had chucked a stone. I think it was a moth. Something came down at the corner of my eye, but it might have been. I thought it was a moth, but I'm on edge ever since the first thing got chucked at me earlier on. But I'm trying to remember what the playing cards were. And also, not many people know this, but this end part of the museum, they found Roman burials down here a few years ago when they were building this. And they're still down there because they were so far underground they didn't bother. Were they all face down? I can't remember now.
There was a lot more of them, like
They've moved.
there was a lot more of them, like.
I can't remember if anyone put the camera on them, so in case people at home might remember. I'm sure they weren't all face down, the ones that were scattered about. Have you been playing cards? What were the dice? I think I can remember some of the numbers. There was a 2, there was a 6 and a 4. Oh, here they are. 2, 2, 6, 4. The dice I don't think are moved. I think they're still the same. They're still the same. If anyone is in here, I've never ever had activity up here, but I always think it's down that end, to the sharp end where you get stuff, but Going back into hangar with the Westland. So this is where I'm going to ask now, Kyle. Do you fancy trying something on your own?
Well, depends.
It depends. Well, do you want to try it?
No, see, I'm not really in the mood for it.
You're not in the mood.
No,
Okay.
for some reason.
We'll leave the mic.
The fact that I'm doing this is incredible.
The fact that you get mucky as well, get climbing in.
No, I that's the main reason, to be honest.
I'm going to get in, but I won't lie in. Simply because of the fact you get absolutely filthy. I don't know how far the signal goes. Is it the? Where's I'll climb in again. Try going out to the. Yeah, obviously you keep an eye on the signal on the top. You'll see if I disconnect, but I'll still talk to you, and then I'm going to climb in here and be in the dark. Come back in and get me 5 minutes. I'm going to have a session. Oh, he's locked the door. Has he locked the door? Kyle's just going to go out and... Okay. I'm in the Westland helicopter. Who died in here? Is somebody shouting? It's getting really, really windy. It sounds really windy from in here, but it's not windy outside. I'm in the Westland that's saved so many lives and recovered so many people. Can you move the helicopter for me? Can you move it? Can you shake it? I can hear voices outside. I'm assuming some of the other team are outside. It sounds really morbid and graphic, but did you lose your life by being rescued into this helicopter and they worked on you in here? Rest in peace if you are. This is obviously not a nice place to be, but it's an important part of this museum. Can you tell me your name? Who's here with me? Who's in the helicopter? I'm going to turn this off and just sit in complete silence and see if anybody can just let me know. Just tell me that you're here. Can you tap on the bottom of the helicopter? It's gone really dark. And I can hear, obviously, the wind, the rattling of this hangar. Why are you still linked to it? Can you not move on? You. What the hell? That door's just swung open. Kyle? The door's just swung open. I'm getting out. Hang on. There's a rope here somewhere. I know there's a rope. Hang on. This door's just swung open. Kyle's over there. The door's just opened. You've been over here? Did you see that on the camera?
I was doing a pan.
And the door's just opened. I've not touched the door since I come out. It's gone wide open. But there is a draft, but it's on the back of us. So it's going that way, so it couldn't have opened the door. But it hasn't been doing that. This is a place that messes with your mind. It's... Who opened the door? Who's here? Who opened the door? Did it blow open? Was it the wind? Let me just turn this speaker off. I'm feeling like getting the infrared camera out and seeing what we get with that. I'm just gonna get a little bit.
Is there a way we can put this on charge as well as
What on charge?
the phone?
Oh, are we low on battery?
We are on the phone.
Right, we'll quickly. There is a cable I've got. We're going to have a quick recharge of batteries, so we're literally going to be a minute in here, no longer than a minute. Is it 20% or 10? What are we down to?
It's on 9 now.
9, right. We'll get it set up. We're charging batteries. I'm just leaving that there. So the cable you need to put in is the iPhone cable.
iPhone, that's that one.
Yeah. So that goes into there, and then that is going to go
Into the main one.
So we might go off for a second, the audio. In there. I think we're back. How's that worked? Is the charger on? The battery pack? Just press the blue button. Yeah. Is the charging on the phone? We're good. Me, I'm getting. Is here we go. We're going into thermal imaging. So people say that we can see. Oh, there we go. Oh, we've got a little battery on this as well. Got a low battery and everything.
Weirdness.
We've got a low battery. Okay. Let's get going. Here we go. I don't know how long we're going to. How come batteries just drain?
Weirdness.
Or have we not? Hang on, we'll are we connected? Quite soon then. Let's get this out and plug in that again, and then we might have to do a wrap up because I haven't got much battery left. We haven't got much battery, and it's when we do connect it, it's not charging the phone, so we might have to wrap this up very, very soon. We're going to catch up quickly with the guys in here, so if we do lose you...
I think the one up at the top one, you know.
Oh, have they? Which one did they go in?
When you were inside the helicopter at the top, or the plane called.
Oh yes, it's the military vehicles. We haven't got much battery, so we might be wrapping up very, very soon. So if we do go off all of a sudden, that is it. But we hope you've enjoyed it. We've been on since 8 o'clock, and I don't even know what time is it now. It must be getting on to closer to midnight. Oh well, that's a good time So obviously we've still got a little bit of, we can still record bits in here if we do go off the live. Where have they gone? I can hear voices. So as you can see, the thermal imaging camera works. We're picking people up. Well, we're almost out of juice, so we might be wrapping up very, very soon.
Well, the playing cards have moved a second time since we put them in position.
We went in there about 15, 20 minutes ago, and I think Kyle did move, but they were face down. I don't know what they were before. But I know, Kyle, we hold our hands up. We did move a couple because we were looking. It was these bottom ones down here.
Right.
So that was us before.
Yeah, but originally I set them out, photographed them, and then we came back about an hour later, and they had moved.
Were they all face down?
These were all face down.
Right, and we weren't. For some reason, I thought some of them were face up, but we're gonna wrap up very soon then, because we're literally down to minutes of battery life left. I can hear Phil somewhere. Afton, how's it going?
Good. Talk to a ghost.
You talked to it. Did you? What did it say?
Through a compass. Yes and no questions.
And what did you get from that? Did you build up an idea of who it could have been?
Alan. Someone Alan. George Allen.
George Allen. We'll have to see if we can find that name a little bit later on. We've got minutes left, so we've got Keith and Phil. We're literally down to the last few minutes of battery life we've got left, so we're going to wrap it up very soon. Has any more things been happening in here?
Happening? Well, apart from the phone ringing over there.
Yeah.
And noises over there. As I say, we've had the ring moving and various things. So, yeah, the cards has moved at the end.
That might have been us, we're not sure, but Kyle did touch a few of them. Half job, we call him. No, we're joking. But we were just doing that because we thought they'd moved ourselves. So
we put some dice on here, but
yeah,
haven't moved at the moment.
they haven't moved.
I don't know whether the dice has moved or not.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Keith, for allowing us to come down here, because you've done a big thing for what we're doing. We hope we're going to raise a lot more money over the coming weeks. We're going to put this out there as well. We're doing it live, but people can still watch this back and listen to this back. Obviously, we want to try and raise a lot of money for what's going on in the world at the minute, which is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. This place never disappoints. I don't think I've ever been in this museum where it hasn't disappointed. So there is a ghost hunt coming up next month. It'll be one Saturday in April, but
Kindred Spirit Investigations. You can buy the tickets, and the money from those tickets goes to the charities as well, all supporting what's going on in Ukraine at the minute. So if you want to donate but also get something back, if you've watched any of tonight's show and you think, I'd love to go and do a ghost hunt and go after Augustine. A lot of people want to go after him. He's popular but unpopular at the same time.
Yes.
You can do that. I believe there might still be tickets available, but Kindred Spirit Investigations, go on their website and look for their event next month in April here at the Aircraft Museum, the North East Land, Sea and Aircraft Museum.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
NELSAM.
Very good.
Thank you so much for the phone call about 2 days ago. Last minute, I know, just to say, you can come down on Saturday. It was much appreciated because some venues messed us about a little bit. We were sort of left a little bit high and dry. We were wondering if we were going to get anywhere soon. And then to the rescue came the North East Land, Sea and Aircraft Museum. So thank you, and we'll be back again one day in the future. We're not going to leave this place alone, because you always get stuff down here. And even if you're not into ghosts and you just want to come and have a look at what you've seen in here, you can come in the daytime. You open, which days are you open pretty much?
We closed on a Monday, I believe. Yeah.
Come down and bring the kids. They'll have a sit in some of the vehicles that they've got here, and maybe do your own little ghost hunt in the daytime if it's quiet.
Yeah, well, they're still here.
They never leave.
You just notice them more at night.
Yeah.
But tonight's been really, it's been strange tonight, hasn't it, David?
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, we've definitely had things happening that doesn't usually happen. That telephone was fantastic tonight.
I've had equipment malfunction before, but I've never had so much malfunction, and the same equipment as yours.
Yeah, the SLS just died.
Some people will say, well, your batteries weren't charged up. They were. Yeah. Some people say your batteries weren't charged up. Yeah. For two of us to have batteries that were...
I went through 2 sets of shop bought batteries. And they should last weeks. It didn't last minutes.
The spirit box as well. I wanted to get a good spirit box session, and it connects and then goes off as soon as you start the sweep. I've never had that before. But then as soon as I started the sweep, we had microphones were going. Never had that before. Yeah. That's weird. And that was all within the space of minutes.
Yeah. But I've noticed different types of energy tonight. Like, not bad energy, but strange to the usual.
New guys are here for quite a lot of the ghost hunts. I know Keith's always down here when there's a night on, and David, you do your own paranormal stuff down here. But come down, David will be here probably, and there's always stuff going on. It never disappoints. Some places you go to and you'll get a bit of a quiet night. I mean, you might get quieter nights here, but there's always something. There's always something when you leave and you think, it does my head in because I want the answer to it. And I never leave here with the answer. I always leave here with, what on earth was that all about?
Yeah, like thinking, that's not right.
that was human, that was human. Yeah.
But that's not right, how can that happen?
Yeah. 2 years ago, it was Augustine. This year, it was a bit of both. We had a door in next door swing open just a few minutes ago. While I was trying to do a lone vigil in the helicopter, it didn't last because the door swung open. I had to get out, and Kyle's sat there facing the other way, panning around. And
I believe earlier on in the tram shed, the door actually slammed shut.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Once you could put it down to a coincidence, but there is a little bit of a breeze outside, but it's not blowing stuff around.
It's not windy, not compared to what it usually is on this site.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much if you're tuned in on the radio, you're watching us live on YouTube. Thank you for just supporting us. If you even shared the video, you've done a little bit to help. We're hoping to raise more money next week as well. We're going to be out and about from another mysterious place. But thank you for all of your support, all of the likes, all of the comments, especially the donations. Those who've donated have really, really pleased me. So thank you so much for that. And thank you as well to the museum for saying, getting that phone call, well, we've got a gap coming up on Saturday, you can get yourselves in there and we'll raise some money. So that these guys are doing their own bit. They've got their own fundraiser next month. It's not all about making money. It's all about, you know, doing stuff that fundraisers and makes money for people who really, really need it. So thank you again, whether you watched it or listened. Even if you watched it, share the video. If you listened to it on the radio, go on the YouTube channel, Dead Air TV, and you can watch it back again if you enjoyed it, and you can see what we were talking about on there. We did have some tech issues at the start, but they were resolved once Afton showed Kyle how to use the YouTube. So we're back next Friday. Thank you so much. Remember, radioshields.co.uk if you want to donate to the charity. Hit the donate button. But from all of us here, thank you and good night. Thank you. Has he done it properly?